Now on the line by Lezerine Mashaba, who is the Imbizo project coordinator, talking to us about this Imbizo that took place yesterday. Young people in Mthatha talking about abortion. Lezerine, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, just tell me the idea behind the Imbizo. And I know that this is the beginning of a series of Imbizos that are taking place across the country.
Yes. So basically, we are Activate Change Drivers. It's a network of young people around South Africa connected to drive change for social good. And one of the things that we're doing is we're really just sparking conversations around issues that matters and issues that are faced by our communities, especially issues that are not, people don't really normally talk about, you know. I mean, if you think about the theme of abortion, an issue around abortion, it's not the conversation that, you know, our communities, especially because we're coming from religious and cultural-based communities. And yet we have a lot of young people that are actually, doing backstreet abortions, unsafe abortions, so we're losing a lot of lives because of that. So what we're doing is, besides that, we're actually just not only looking at one conversation, we're also looking at different kinds of conversations to say, how can we also, through our conversations, in partnership with other stakeholders and partners in our communities, how can we come up to a point where we actually influence local policy? You know, because issues around health, for example, we need to make sure that, you know, young people are able to get basic health services, you know, their sexual and reproductive health rights are practiced and they know their rights, starting from school, you know, and you know, so how do we as people who really take our responsibilities to build our communities, influence policy making on a local level? So the whole idea around Imbizos is to basically, looking at different subjects, as we are looking at abortion in the Eastern Cape, we're looking at HIV in KZN, we will also be looking at civic participation in the Free State, we'll be looking at land redistribution in Northwest, and many other conversations we're going to still be having towards the end of the year. And so basically the whole point of Imbizos is, and if you remember the title of Imbizo, the word Imbizo it was used by our grandparents, you know, back in the day. And Imbizo basically means it's gathering,
yes.
It's like lechotla, come together, let's talk. You know, come together, let us share ideas, let us brainstorm together. So it's not like your normal dialogue where we say, we're just having a dialogue and then we talk and then it's done. So in Imbizo, it's we are sharing ideas, we're putting our heads together, and so that's where the idea of Imbizo comes from, because it's something that we are familiar with. You know, it's something, it's a concept that has been practiced and it has worked. You know, so it can be done in different spaces, it can be done in different models.
Okay.
But the point around it is just.
Talk to me about the role of the panelists that you had, though, because you had
Yes, so the panelists that we have, so these are young people that are, you know, that are really actively involved in, especially with the abortion stigma conversation. So these are young people that are actively involved in sexual and reproductive health issues, you know, and ensuring that people understand their rights, ensuring that we know, you know, the facts around, you know, abortion, we know the facts around, you know, sexual and reproductive health in general.
Right.
So Nomtika Mjwana is our colleague as well. She's done quite a lot of work around, you know, globally as well. She's done a lot of talks around issues of sexual and reproductive health. And Uput Piko Yanachi, he was our panelist yesterday, and he's coming from a religious background. Yeah. So he's also giving
youth activist in faith-based
organizations. Yes, he's also a youth activist in the community.
Well, let me speak to your panelists. Lezerine, thanks so much for talking to us, and continue keeping us updated on some of the other discussions that are going to take place, especially that one on active citizenry. That's a really important one. We'd like to talk to those panelists as well. Lezerine Mashaba, project coordinator of the National Imbizos taking place across the country. So I have now on the line Nomtika Mjwana, who was actually on the steering committee, apologies, of Sexual and Reproductive Justice Coalition in South Africa. Nomtika, good afternoon. Welcome to In Tune.
Hi. Thanks for having me. How are you?
No, I'm well. Thank you so much for joining us. And Put Pico Adonis, thanks for joining us as well.
Yes.
Yeah, Yeah, I want to talk about what came out of the discussions yesterday. So you arrive in Mthatha. The idea here is to bring young people into a space and discuss issues of sexual reproductive health. My first question, Nomtika, is how do you ensure that young people are actually there, right? What is it that you do to say, come and be part of this discussion?
Yeah. Okay. And so well, the whole idea of the talk on unwanted pregnancy and abortion stigma came with one of the activators. And so we're working on a project and addressing issues that are key and issues that are burning in that particular region. And Ulusanda Yosef, who's one of the activators within the network, is the one who actually came up with an idea to say, you know what, I've realized that a lot of young people are not necessarily aware of their sexual and reproductive health and rights, and so I will try to bring them together. And so, I mean, that's also just part of the power of the Activate network, is to say we don't necessarily have to do that much because we have activators that are from those particular areas or key regions that we hope to sort of share the message with. So Lusana did speak to one of the schools, and she spoke to young people around the area, and it was basically just a collaborative effort in terms of just organizing young people and getting them to come together. And what was quite impressive on my side was the fact that it wasn't necessarily an issue for her to get high school, because our primary audience was high school kids. And, I mean, the teachers were willing to have them be part of this conversation, which is quite interesting, I mean, considering the cultural background in an area like the Eastern Cape. And so ours was to just share the message and just put it out and encourage people to join the conversation on Twitter, to share their views, but also to use our own activators in getting together the people that we'd like to have this conversation with as Activate and as sexual health as well.
Yeah, you know, this is also such a difficult discussion to really have. I mean, stigma on abortion, it's a very difficult discussion. And then I don't know if this was brave or, you know, maybe brave and dangerous. Having Putpiko there as well as a youth activist from faith-based organizations to come and talk about abortion. Putpiko, so, I mean, what were some of the perspectives that you wanted to get across to the young people that were at the Mbizo?
Thank you very much, Naledi. The first thing that I wanted to convey is as I'm running the campaigns on sexual orientation for young people. So one of the things that I'm concerned and looking at are the effects of early sexual contravention. So what my view in the discussion in the young people was to first ask what is the cause then of these abortions. Then we can be able to dictate and tell why do we have these effects of abortion? Because you remember, these are the results of something. Do you see?
So just elaborate on that then, Putpiko.
Yeah, there are many factors. In fact, one, before he gets to do an abortion, she has to engage in a sexual intercourse. Whether by means of choice or by means of force. Do you understand? Therefore, on my perspective, as a young person who believes much in God, so we have to first understand the causes firstly, and then we can be able to deal with the effects.
Wait. I'm trying to understand now from you, Putpiko. So let's talk about those causes. You say let's understand the causes. You talk about sexual intercourse. Yes, that's clear, obviously. But are you talking about the causes of young people engaging in sexual intercourse?
Yes. Firstly, the factor is there is an issue of preventative measure that when young girls and young men engage themselves into sex, specifically, they usually have a perspective of saying, even though I got pregnant, I can go and abort because it's an issue that is illegal. Do you understand? So they would use that as a preventative measure. Number two, we would say one is being, for example, being raped or being forced to do, and there's no way that young person could be asking for protection like use a condom.
Right.
You see? So then we have an effect of one person got pregnant. So we want to deal with those. When I'm saying
But then,
Before
so you talk about young people engaging in sexual intercourse willingly, and you're saying that abortions are thought of by young people as preventative measures, something that they can do quite easily because it's legal. But you still haven't elaborated on your points around those that are sexually violated and hence need to have an abortion. What do you say to that?